use the mic exactly as it is. Okay. I'm fine. I'll start with a short favorite of mine, Lorca. I'll read the first poem. Dawn will come, as it always has, escorted with pearls, the earth's chalice spiked with frost. Sandwiched between your rivers, one lament and the other blood, the land will flame like a tongue of fiery green, threading the Sierras. The bull ring will pulse with blood, the red dust will still whirl and eddy across the road. Evenings will be as they were before, light rose or mauve shadow, and chopped with the flight of cranes. Nightscapes will still be the same, bars of flamenco carried by the wind, goat herds round a fire, and sheepdogs barking at the rustle of dry oak leaves. Only you will not be there. My poet friends have insisted I should read a love poem. I've hardly written 3 or 4 in a lifetime, which means I'm poor at. But I'm going to read a scorching one called Love Among the Pines. I think I wrote it when I was in Ranikhet, and I was in Ranikhet between 1966 and 68, newly married. The animal evening moves like the tiger, Love Among the Pines. The animal evening moves like the tiger wind through the parting of reeds. The sky is not blue enough today to catch the pure spiral of your thought. We walk in the cow dust, my fingers lost in the spaces between your fingers. Some wildflowers catch your eye, and I sleepwalk through some moments of wild talk about wildflowers from you. What makes me whisper destiny lies in the parting of hair, in the parting of grasses, in the parting of thighs. Dust explodes into black shrapnel on the knife rim of the earth. What is there in my hand that when it sidles into you, it prowls like an animal that makes you writhe, turning your nipples into a black sprout of berries? We sweep pine needles into a stack. They don't prick at all when vertically spread. The pine cricket overhead is a shrill monotone. The moments stacked against each other turn incandescent with a running flame. We both know what we are here for. Beneath your skin of wild dog, you are tense. Beneath the cindering ash of my body, your body is a surprise. For as I fall upon the earth crust, that is you. We spin, we spin, we spin, your feet pointed to the skies. After which we must have shall I say, a decent poem. 1 minute. How come? I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for this. I normally never waste time looking for a poem, but yes. 13. Epiphany. Epiphany is actually a wrong word because I am dealing with a Gampa, which is a Buddhist monastery, as all of you know. The traveler speaks to the Lama. The walnut tree in front of the Gampa was on fire, but not the willow. Red-robed boys, ushered into premature monkhood, had stopped playing as dusk fell when I startled the Lama with a series of questions. After 40 years in the monastery, have you ever received a sign? In some odd moment, has the shadow of the Sakyamuni fallen like a cloak on your shoulders? He stopped twirling his prayer wheel. You are talking of an instant, aren't you? A rare moment of light that fills your being. I nodded. He thought on it a while. Just once, he said. It was about to snow, and I saw the snow leopard, smoky gray, his spots still distinct in the mud. He looked at me, the solitude of Ladakh, of wilderness, and winter was in his eyes. The air turned frost-brittle. Something broke somewhere in the sky bowl, and snow came down, but the leopard couldn't care. It fell on his face, ran down his eyes like candle wax, but we kept looking at each other till the landscape shrank, and I prayed to the guardians of the folk waters to guard not just me and the Gampa from evil, but also valley, willow, walnut, and leopard. Cover his tracks from the hunter's eyes, cover his hide against buckshot and lead. It has stayed with me, this memory filtered by dusk, this moment leavened by snow. What's wrong today? I wrote a series of Sappho poems, and they have to be in the Sapphic stanza, 8 syllables, first 3 lines, and 4 syllables, the fourth line. I'll just read one of them to you. Goddess, I'm lonely now. Goddess, I'm lonely now. A tragic harvest in your nest. Sorry, I'll read that again. We all know who Sappho was, the great poet from Lesbos. Goddess, I'm lonely now. And now I picture her as someone who's gone old, a little old, and she's speaking to the goddess. She spoke to Aphrodite always. Goddess, I'm lonely now. A tragic harvest in your net. The Pleiades and the moon have set. I sleep alone. Love's delirium does not last. I've learned that lesson from the past. The emptiness that follows lust scars me to the bone. Love's desertions, they are swift. As star clusters incline and shift, my lovers like Orion drift, I drift alone. Two or three very short poems. And the first one, Anis, is the barbarians. The riposte to Gaddafi's very famous poem. I mean, this is the book, my last fire altar. I think I don't have time to read more than one or possibly two. And he wrote that famous poem, Barbarians, that the senators are all waiting and the barbarians never come. I've been to Alexandria, to his house, been living in Egypt for some time. We are your barbarians, and the Persians were the barbarians, the Zoroastrians of those days, okay? So there is a personal riposte. We are your barbarians, Constantine, the ones you're roving spyglass, curving across the Alexandrian skyline like a lighthouse beam looked out for. You scout the past. Nero told me the Ionian gods, but your beam lit upon only our absence. The tide that never came in, the cavalry whose horse hooves had been stolen. In the end, you and your senators realized we weren't coming. Under the arcades, in the thickets of time, you lost us. While the West waited, we sailed eastwards towards Gujarat. We were hounded out of Persia. It is not your fault that you call us barbarians, because you got the word as a hand-me-down from your ancestors. We see your point. You needed a dark hemisphere against your hemisphere of light, as you saw it. The dark was what you didn't understand, and it vanished like a continent that has broken away. We talked of the ongoing war between good and evil, and we rooted for the good. We sent the tribes back from the waters of Babylon to white-stoned Jerusalem. We adored fire and believed in one God. Not that belief in one is necessarily superior to a belief in many. Our dispensation was fair between man and woman, tribe and tribe, people and people. It is not that the barbarians won't be coming. The point, Kawafi, is there never were any barbarians. This was published in the Warwick Review, and I kept on getting calls, and the calls from England were, are you talking about George Bush's invasion of Iraq? They really thought so. 2 poems. Have I 5 minutes? 3 minutes. Okay, 5. I heard you correctly. Okay, I'll read one poem, Delphi, and then end with, I was going to read a light one, but the bird to Delphi. No, too long. I'd much rather.
Another indecent love poem.
No, I'm afraid.
Keki ji, the glass blower. The glass blower.
The glass
No?
You want me to read that?
You love it, yes. It's in the...
All right. And the one I wanted to read, 1 minute. The glass blower. I'll have to find it.
This is the program.
Here.
Okay. I wanted to write this poem, and actually I wanted to, what I wanted to do, I am not going to tell you, to talk of the the soul and the color of the soul and, space and, it was something very abstract. But you try to do one thing and you end up with another. And I did think that you deal with sand and heat and you suddenly get glass. And when you got glass initially, in Nineveh and all, they came up with glass beads and all, how it must have struck the man when he actually saw it. I'll read this and one more poem after that. He knew about glass and its history, beads of the vintage of Amenhotep, the Nineveh tablets of Assurbanipal, blowpipe, marble, pontil, each successive step which fire took to make clay transparent. Glass is not in the family, he said. My forefathers were alchemists, sublimators of baser alloys like zinc and lead. Believers in a four-cornered universe of water and air, earth and fire. They spent a lifetime with bellows, furnaces. They were metallurgists, but they aspired to mysticism. Alchemy for them was not some quack technique harnessed to greed of wealth. The goal was transmuting the earthy into the celestial, sickness into health. Now things are changed. A philosophy slips out as an age loses its teeth. Nothing holds fast. Decay sets in with birth. We rust like iron. We splinter like glass. One. Okay. Forget it.
Instead of giving him 1 more minute.
Oh. Count down to 10. And it's my poem of the first 10 years of my life. 2 or 3 things. I mentioned Zyklon B, which was the gas in the gas chambers, as you would know. And there is Mandelstam, the great poet who died in 38 in Stalin's pogroms, and of course Muhammad Iqbal, who was born, who died 36 or 37. I was hardly born. Good grief, can't duck it, when Sir Muhammad Iqbal kicked the bucket. In 38, when I was 1, they did away with Mandelstam. When I was 2, in 39, the Nazis, they goose-stepped in line. Mother thought in 1940 I needed to be trained in potty. No one knew in 41 that Zyklon B would outgun the gun. Gandhi mumbled, "Off with you," as rains came down in 42. Hunger and death were 2 things free, as Bengal starved in 43. A rat hole in my memory store deprives me of 1944. When I was 8 in 45, they burnt Hiroshima alive. When I was 9 in 46, descended on us Sir Stafford Cripps. Har Har Mahadev, Ali Ali, the knives were out in Noah Khali. Falling apart, bare, undisguised, was Gandhi's homespun paradise. Even for a rhyme, I can't cite heaven when it comes to 1947. Thank you. Many thanks. Many thanks for your patience. And sorry for hogging the mic.